Hello all. Today I'm going to explain you how to design a sequential circuit in Verilog code. So we will start from flip-flop. Okay. So sequential circuit means two types of sequential circuit like latch and flip-flop. About this latch I will explain in another video. So this video is all about your flip-flop. So as we know, there are four types of flip-flop: D flip-flop, T flip-flop, SR flip-flop, and JK flip-flop. So we will start from D flip-flop. So D flip-flop. So while designing a sequential circuit, we use behavioral modeling style. So behavioral modeling style, we have to describe the behavior of the circuit. So what is the behavior of D flip-flop? So its behavior is whenever clock is active. So clock is active means it can be positive or it can be negative depending on your requirement. At that time, your output equal to input. So these things only we have to write. So here, so module name D flip-flop, all the port list as it is a sequential circuit. So there will be a clock signal, reset signal. You can add clear signal also. It's up to you. So I will just write with clock and reset signal. Then input D in, output D out. So input clock, input reset, input D in, next output D out. So always at the rate passage of clock. So always at the rate passage of clock means, see, whenever you are designing any circuit, whether it is combinational or sequential, if you are designing the circuit using always block, you have to take care of the sensitivity list. Sensitivity list means your output depends on which signal. As it is a flip-flop, so output will change only at the edge of the clock. So that's why I have just written passage of clock, because my output will change only with respect to passage of clock. No other signals should be here. So begin if reset, then D out is equal to 0. This type of assignment is known as non-blocking assignment. So whenever you are designing a sequential circuit, always use non-blocking assignment. Blocking assignment, sometimes it may give you correct result, but post synthesis it will create issues. So better always use non-blocking assignment while designing a sequential circuit. Okay. So else, okay. So D out is equal to D in, then AND module. Okay. So now here, as I am assigning D out inside always block, so I have to declare it as a reach. Okay. So this is my code for D flip-flop. Now come to this reset signal. As we know, there are two types of reset signal. One is synchronous reset, another is asynchronous reset. So synchronous means it always acts with respect to clock. That means reset signal activated with respect to clock. You may, so here my reset is active high. In my code, the reset signal, it is active high. Active high means when reset signal is equal to 1, at that time my output is going to 0. So synchronous reset means you may make reset signal high at any point, but output will go to 0 whenever clock is high. That means with respect to clock, that means reset should be equal to 1 and clock should be equal to its passage. At that time only my output will go to 0. Now coming to asynchronous reset, here what will happen? Reset signal activated independent of clock. So here only reset signal should be in passage, then your output will go to 0. Okay. So normally when we assert the reset signal, we use asynchronous reset because it is faster. it will not wait for clock. As soon as you are making reset signal high, it will make your output 0. So here you are making reset signal high, then it will wait for clock. Clock is in pause edge, then only your output will go to 0. So how will its waveform look like for synchronous and asynchronous? Right, this one is my clock signal. Now for synchronous reset, okay. So I am making reset signal 1 here. Now here I make it 0, but my output will go to 0 here only. So output can be any value. After that, at this point, my output will go to 0. At this point only output will go to 0. Here output can be any value, I don't care. Okay. Here only output will go to 0. Why? Because it is synchronous reset. I have made reset signal 1 here, but it will wait for passage of clock. So whenever there is a passage of clock, at that time only my output will go to 0. Now asynchronous reset, what will happen? Here only my output will go to 0. At this point, because it is not going to wait for clock. As soon as you are making reset signal is equal to 1, at that time only my output will go to 0. So this is the waveform for synchronous and asynchronous reset. And this is the definition of synchronous and asynchronous reset. Now how to write Verilog code for it. So this one, it is for synchronous reset. If I'm writing same code for asynchronous reset, then here I have to include the reset signal also, passage of reset. Why I have taken passage of reset? Because here my reset is active high. If reset signal is active low, then write negate of reset, and here if not reset. Okay. So now we will look into waveform. So just for your sake, I am taking two output. One is for synchronous reset, another is for asynchronous reset. Okay, no need to write here. I can write another code also. Okay, so module D flip-flop. This is another for your asynchronous reset. Asynchronous reset means reset signal will also be in the sensitivity list. So it is in the sensitivity list means whenever, so this block will get executed whenever there is a passage of clock or whenever there is a passage of reset. Okay. So let this is D flip-flop 1. Okay. So now write a test bench for it. The module test. So all the input I will be writing in terms of range. So range, clock, range, reset, range, D in, and next range, D out, synchronous, D out, asynchronous. Okay. Sorry, this should be in where, as these are the output. Okay. So here I am just doing name wise instantiation. Sorry, position wise instantiation. Position wise means whatever position is written here, first clock, reset, D in, D out. So first clock, reset, D in, then D out, S. This is for synchronous. So here I can write M1 or MS. Okay. So this is a name. I can give any name, but this name is same as this name. Okay. So next one will be so this is asynchronous, write A here. So here it will be D out A. Okay. So next I have to generate clock signal, reset signal, D in signal. Okay. So how to generate a clock signal in Verilog? Okay. So you can use while block. It's up to you. You can use while block, clock generator. So you can use while block, You can use always block and you can use forever block. Okay, any block you can use. So here I will be using always block to generate the signal, to generate my clock. Okay, so always #2 clock equal to not clock. Okay, let's write #5+6. Okay, so here #6 clock equal to not clock means let initial value clock equal to 0. After 6 time delay, it will be 1, then 0, then 1, 0 like this. So here on time and off time both equal to 6. On time equal to 6 nanosecond. Why I am saying nanosecond? Because by default here time scale is nanosecond. On time, off time is also equal to 6 nanoseconds. So total time period equal to 12 nanoseconds. So next initial begin. So clock equal to 0. My reset signal is equal to 0. Okay, so after #2 only, I am making reset signal equal to 1. Then I am waiting for 10 nanosecond of time. Then I am making reset signal is equal to 0. So here D in is also equal to 0. So after making reset signal 0, here I should provide valid input. So let's write D in equal to $random. Okay. So again, see, I have initialized all the inputs. Then here I have generated my reset signal. So first, my reset signal is equal to 0. After 2 nanosecond of time, I made reset signal is equal to 1. So here my reset signal get activated. Then I have given #10 delay. Then I am making equal to 0. Okay. So end module. So here I need to check the waveform. Okay. So if I'm checking waveform in EDA Playground, I have to add these 2 lines. Okay, let me write in another block. Here I can give some #200 delay. Then another begin. So $dump file, so it will generate a waveform. Okay. So here d flip flop dot vcd, then $dump variables. Okay. So now here, if you have remembered in the combinational circuit, okay, so whatever the delay, okay, just forget about this always block. If this always block is not here, then by default, after 10 plus 2, 12 plus 200, 212 nanosecond, my simulation will be stopped. But here I have written always block. Okay, so it will be continuously running. If you are not forcing or not terminating your simulation, then it will be continuously running and your simulation will hang. Just look here. Okay, I am not terminating the things. Okay, so it is going to run. Now you can see it is continuously running. Why it is continuously running? Because I have written always #6 clock equal to not clock. So 0, 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, like at this period of time, it is going to generate the clock. Okay. So if this kind of scenario is there, then I have to forcibly terminate my simulation. So after some period of time, I have to write $finish to terminate the simulation. So here it is continuously running. So after some time, it will be automatically terminated by the tool. Okay, so it depends on tools. Okay, if tool does not have this property, then your system will hang because it is going to continuously run the things. I can see. Okay. So it is reached maximum runtime. So in this tool, there is a maximum runtime. If your simulation is going to run up to that much of time, it is going to terminate it by the tool. So if I want to terminate it, okay, so I have to write here $finish. $finish, it is a system task. It is going to terminate the simulation. Okay, so now I want to check the waveform. So get signals in the test. Whatever the signals, I need to append all and close. Okay. D out is two types of D out signals are there. Okay, so here I have to write capital S. Okay, here instead of writing $random, let's write in a repeat block. So I may get some 10 to 12 values. So repeat 10, begin, D in equal to not D. So always D in value will toggle 0, 1, 1, 0 like this. Then here I may give some delay of as 8, then end. So initially whatever I have written, only one value will get generated, maybe 0, maybe 1. So I need some 10 values. Okay, so D in equal to not D in means it is going to 0, 1, like a clock signal will, this D in signal will get generated. Okay. Okay, next, just 1 minute. Okay, sorry for the fourth flip-flop, it is D flip-flop 1. Okay, so now first look into synchronous and asynchronous reset. Then we'll go to D flip-flop output. See, this is my asynchronous reset. Now you can see my reset signal is going 1 here. So as soon as my reset signal is 1, it is not waiting for passage of clock. At that point of time, my output is going to 0. That means my reset signal is activated without depending on clock. So this is asynchronous reset. Now going to synchronous reset, I have made reset signal is equal to 1 here, but see here output is going to 0 here. That means reset signal equal to 1 plus there is a passage of clock. At that time only my output equal to 0. That means at that time my reset signal is getting activated. So this is my synchronous reset. So whenever you are asserting reset, always we use asynchronous reset because it is faster. It is not going to wait for the clock. So next, checking D flip-flop output. So this is the passage of clock. So in the passage of clock, my D in signal is equal to 0. Okay, so output is 0. Next, in the passage of clock, my D in signal equal to 1. So output is 1. Next, in the passage of clock, D in signal is equal to 1. So output equal to 1. So like this, you can check. Okay, always at the rate passage of clock, whatever is your input signal, your output signal will be same only. Okay, so this is all about your D flip-flop. Okay. In the similar manner, you can write for T flip-flop JK. Okay, so I'm not explaining the test bench, but this how to write the code I can explain you. So now I'm writing for T flip-flop. Okay, T in, T out. So what is the behavior of a T flip-flop? So whenever T equal to 0, D out is equal to its previous value. And whenever T equal to 1, D out will toggle. That means it will change its previous value. If previous value is 0, it will go to 1. If it is 1, it will go to 0. Okay, so D in, then T out, passage of clock, reset. So T out equal to 0 as. Okay, so as here I can write if reset signal equal to, sorry, if t in equal to 1, then t out is equal to t out. That means its previous value. Or simple, I can use the conditional operator also that I have explained previously. So t out is equal to, it will depend on t in. If it is true, then output will be negation of t out. That means output will toggle. If it is false, then output will be simple t out. Okay. Now, if you want to check its waveform, okay, so you can simple check with whatever the previous waveform I have written. So here just I have to change the t in value. So this is a t flip-flop. Even if this name is same, it is not going to make any issue, but still I am changing the names. Okay, next clock generation. So here what I am doing, I am first making t in equal to 1. Okay, then after some has 10 period of time, calculate 100 of time, I am making t in equal to 0. Okay. So now I guess everything is okay. Just let me check. Okay, so unexpected identifier T flip-flop in the test bench 6. Okay, so here I have not given the same. So now you can see, okay, after 3 nanosecond of time, it is stopped because I have written $finish. If I have not written, then it will go on continuing this in this. So now we can see my t in equal to 1 here. So you can see t out, it is continuously changing at every passage of clock. Now here t in equal to 0. So my output is constant. Okay. So like this, you can write for JK flip-flop or SR flip-flop also. Okay. So here input will be J and K. So register, let's just write output equal to Q. Let I am taking output Q and Q bar. So if reset, then Q equal to 0, else begin. So here I have to write 4 combinations. Okay, so if you are comfortable with conditional operator, using conditional operator also you can write, or you can write using if else statement. So if JK equal to 0, 0, then output is equal to previous state. So Q equal to Q. Next, else if 0, 1, output equal to 0. Next, else if, so 1, 0, output equal to 1. So I can write 1 tick bit 1 also. That means 1 bit. Okay. So next, if it is equal to 1, 1, then output is equal to not of previous state. So simple Q. Okay. Next it will be else. Let any other values, then I can make Q equal to X. If let JK becomes X or something, so at that time my output will also become X. So this is the JK flip-flop. So now how to assign the Q bar? As we know, Q bar, it is the inversion of the Q. So here I can write assign Q bar equal to not of Q. Or here also you can write, okay, begin, within begin and you can assign the Q values also. Okay, Q bar values. So it is, okay. So now this is the JK flip-flop. So you can write the test bench for it, whatever you have written here, okay. Same manner you can write, just instead of D flip-flop, you have to generate some values for JK. Okay. Okay, so this is all about flip-flop. Okay, so there is some error. What is this error? 15, 16, 17, 18. Sorry. Here I am comparing the things. So here it will be the equality operator. Okay. Yes. Okay. So now in the next video, I'll be explaining how to model or how to design a shift register, next counter, FSM, all these things. If you have any doubt, you can ask me in the comment section. Thank you.